Welcome children, take out your civics book. Local self-government, rural local institution. Today's topic is limitations in efficient working of Panchayati Raj institution. The panchayats give boost to developmental activities. The panchayats, they give more stress in the developmental work. The essence of democracy is election. And what is the essence of democracy? That is election. The best record of regular election to Panchayati Raj institution is of 3 states. Now, the best record of regular election to Panchayati Raj institution, it was of 3 states, that is Gujarat, Maharashtra and West Bengal. In most states, however, elections to Panchayat have been awfully irregular and uncertain. But in most states, this election of to Panchayat, it was too much irregular and even uncertain. Among the major limitations of the Panchayati Raj, the most significant and among the limitations of this Panchayati Raj, the most important, they were as follows. First is unethical means adopted in it. Now, what are the unethical means which were adopted in elections? Mention may be made of some unethical means adopted in elections, such as now mentions which are made of some unethical means. It was adopted in the election, that is money game in election. First is the money game which was adopted in election. Second, connection between criminals and some powerful persons in rural area. There is a connection between the criminals and powerful persons in the rural areas. And third, an appeal to voters caste feeling. And third is the appeal to the voters caste feeling. Domination of landed aristocracy. Now, what is the domination of landed aristocracy? Earlier, the Panchayati Raj institution came to be dominated by rich farmers, moneylenders and upper caste grade. Now, earlier, this Panchayati Raj institution, it was dominated by the rich farmers, moneylenders and even the upper caste people. In tribal belts, ambition tribal chiefs grabbed power. Tribal belts, the ambition tribal chiefs, they used to grab the power. That's why the new Panchayati Raj Act provides that in all the panchayat seats would be reserved for SCs and STs in proportion to their population. And in tribal belt, the ambitious tribal chiefs, they used to grab the power, and so new Panchayati Raj provides that in all the panchayat seats it would be reserved for the SCs and STs in proportion to their population. Ignorance, illiteracy and poverty of the people. The illiterate and poor masses do not understand what their right are. Now, illiterate and poor masses, they were unable to understand their rights and rights. Ignorance and poverty contribute to public apathy and lack of enthusiasm about the Panchayati Raj. Ignorance and poverty, it is to contribute to public apathy and even lack of enthusiasm about this Panchayati Raj. Communal trending in voting. The voters are not above communal or religious privilege. Now, these voters, they are not above the communal and the religious privilege. Very often, the Muslim, the Sikh, the Christians and the communities vote along communal loans. Now, very often, the Muslims, the Sikhs, the Christians and other communities, they used to vote along the communal lines. The Hindus were divided into numerous caste grouping. Now, Hindus, they were divided into many caste grouping. Unfortunately, caste has become a significant factor in electoral politics. Unfortunately, this caste, what it became? It became a very important factor in the electoral politics. The rural India needs forward-looking leaders to take the reins of Panchayat Raj institution. Now, rural India, what they need? They need forward-looking leader who could take the reins of Panchayati Raj institution in their hand. Excess official controls and interference. District official unduly interfere the working of the Panchayati Raj institution. District official, they used to interfere in the works of the Panchayati Raj institution. District officials are approached by MPs and MLAs and pressurized by them to suspend or dissolve a panchayat. Now, district officials, they are approached, means they are looked after by the MPs, the MLAs and they are pressurized by them, means the MPs and MLAs pressurizes the district officials to suspend or dissolve the panchayat. Party politics. Parties have introduced fascist and decisive spirit even in Panchayat election. Parties, what they have introduced? They have introduced many vivacious and decisive spirit even in the Panchayat election. It would be better if local elections were fought on a non-partisan basis. It would be more better if local elections were fought on a non-partisan basis. Lack of adequate financial resources. Now, lack of adequate financial, that is, a lot of money is required for development. Too much amount of money is required for developmental work. Whereas sources of income of the panchayats are very. Now, sources of income of panchayat, they are too much limited. The granting aid received by the panchayat is still not. Now, granting aid which were received by the panchayat, it was not adequate. The new legislation, panchayats and municipalities now are parts of the constitution. Now, panchayat and municipality, what are they? They are the part of the constitution. The new legislation has brought about some improvement. New legislation, they brought about some improvement. We hope that the SCs, STs and women shall assert their rights in a forceful manner. Now, what we hope that SCs, STs and women, they assert their rights in a forceful manner. The main features of the Panchayati Raj Act, 73rd Amendment Act. The main feature of the new Panchayati Raj Act are as follows. There shall be three-tier system of the panchayatis at village, intermediate and district level. Now, it is said that there should be three-tier panchayati system of panchayati at the village, that is village level, at the intermediate level and even in the district level. In all the Panchayat Raj bodies, seats have been reserved for SCs and STs in proportion to the vote. In all Panchayati Raj system, seats are reserved for the backward class, that is SCs and STs, and according to their population. There is reservation of seats for women in the Panchayati. Even there is a reserved seat for women in the Panchayati Raj system. Office of the chairperson of the panchayats at all levels shall be reserved for SCs and STs in proportion to their population in the state. Now, office of the chairperson, that is from the panchayats at all levels, they are kept reserved for SCs and STs in proportion to the population of the state. 1/3 office of the chairperson shall also be reserved. Now, 1/3 office of the chairperson should also be kept reserved for women. Every panchayat shall have a uniform 5-year term. Every panchayat, what they should have a uniform 5-year term. In the event of dissolution, election will be compulsorily held within 6 months. Now, in event of dissolution election, it is compulsory to be held within 6 months. Specific responsibilities have been entrusted to the panchayat in respect of matters which include agriculture and allied activities, minor irrigation and schemes, land reforms, small industries, rural housing, public distribution system and welfare schemes for weaker section of the state. Now, specific responsibility, they are entrusted to the panchayat in respect of the matter. It includes agriculture, allied activities, minor irrigation schemes, land reforms, small industries, rural housing, public distribution system and welfare scheme which are meant for the weaker sections of the society. Independent election commission were established in each state for superintendence, direction and control of the electoral process. Now, independent elections commission, it was also established in every state for superintendence, direction and even control of the electoral process. The panchayat should receive adequate funds for carrying out their responsibility. Now, it is very necessary for the panchayat to get adequate funds to carry out their responsibility. In each state, finance commission has been established to carry out the responsibility. In each state has been established with a state finance commission. It determines the principles on the basis of which fundamental resources would be allocated to the panchayat. Now, it determines, that means the panchayat state finance commission determines the principles on which basis the finance resource would be allotted to the panchayat. Now, take out your diary, right? Local self-government, rural local institutions, and topic limitation in efficient working of the Panchayati Raj institution explained. Homework, revise it. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.